Great. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we want to rejoice and be glad in it. I am joined by a very special friend of mine. He's the CEO of Elpis Media. He's the lead pastor of Commission for Hope Chapel, Ruiru. He's an author of Break That Circle. He's also the founder of Stone Talks. And it's a joy to have him here to share with us a couple of nuggets on how we can stay inspired, and especially concerning his latest book, Break That Circle. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
It's great to see you.
Good to see you too.
You're well?
Yes, I'm good.
Good.
Yes.
Now, today we want to talk about this book. And I want to say that I've read this book myself. After I read it, I woke up one morning at 3. And I read through and I was so inspired. And I felt everyone should read this book. Before we talk about it, let's get to know about Livingston, a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Livingston. I think the other things we have said are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Not I think, I know they are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, every one of those organizations or groups you have mentioned,
Yes.
I am involved because they serve different purposes.
These have different purposes. Like, it's important to talk about it. Like now, Stone Talks. What is the, what is the essence of Stone Talks? What do you do in Stone Talks?
Stone Talks is a parent organization that runs a program called Discovery Forum.
Oh, okay.
And the Discovery Forum is targeted at recent graduates and finalists, so that we help them discover 3 things. One, for those who are interested in finding jobs, how do they find them? And so we have our own day training and answering questions and giving expertise. We have many friends and partners who are qualifying in those areas. Then number 2, we help those who want to explore business as a way of life or as a stopgap measure. They want to do business for a while as they look for work, or they want to do business for life.
Awesome.
And number 3, any person with all those other things without proper character formation and philosophy is lost. So we also shape their philosophy by challenging them to think of life as holistic.
Awesome.
So that whether you are employed, whether you are in business, actually it is your philosophy and character that will sustain you there.
Awesome.
If they are wrong, then they are wrong.
They are wrong.
So
What about Elpis Media? What do you do in Elpis Media?
Elpis Media does 2 things majorly: publishing books and interior design.
Oh.
Yeah. We have people, especially in the line of interior design, the architects and the foodies,
Yes.
who work on that. So if you have a good house and you want it to be excellent or to go beyond, we come in and our team works through it and we give you something that you are proud of.
Great.
So basically, that's
That's it. That's so powerful.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about yourself a little bit, about Stone, where you grew up, where you went to school, before we come to talk about all the things that you do in the book.
I've had a long life, not many years, but I've had a long life.
Yes.
Yeah, I grew up in Mary,
Yeah.
a place called Maua, but past Maua. Now the other one is 2 hands. I believe I give you the name. You may not remember to mention.
What is the name? You know, I know Mary so well, by the way.
Antobetwe Kiongo.
Anto?
Antobetwe Kiongo.
Anto
I knew
Beto
you'd been travel.
I've been travel.
Yeah,
I-
but
I-
a nice place.
Yeah.
Very green.
Yeah, Mary is beautiful.
Yeah. And then when we were there, I went to primary school there, I went to high school there. I went to 3 different schools. Oh, the first one was just near. It was called the Secondary School. There I was a criminal. Let's be say that.
You are a criminal.
Yeah, I was selling bread. Can you imagine in Form 1 selling bread in school?
Yes.
And I planned to drop out.
Yes.
And a few other things.
Yes.
But then I changed school. I went to another school. There I did my KCSE. I got a Y, not because I'm cheating, but because our school had a problem previously.
You were a why?
Yeah, and I was on cheating committee appointed by the head teacher.
Yes.
So now you can be sure I was disappointed.
Yes.
In fact, I even wrote to the president, but I doubt whether that letter.
Whether he read the letter.
I don't. Leave alone the reading.
Yes.
Whether it arrived.
Yeah.
But I was really disappointed.
So there's a year you spent in Form 4 and the result never came
there's
out.
nothing. So when that happened, I was so disappointed I didn't go back to school.
Yes.
I stayed at home, but I registered for the exam.
So you registered from home?
Yes, from home. So when I went back in that term, I found there was a strike, so there were no teachers. So I did the exam and I passed. So I went to university through JAM.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great. Then you went to Maseno University?
Maseno University.
Uh-huh.
I did drama and theatre studies, of creative and performing arts. Originally, I was planning to change.
Why drama? Why did you choose drama?
What I hadn't chosen. It was the work of JAB.
Oh, yeah, it's a job that...
But when I went there,
Yes.
as I was planning to change, one of our lecturers called Mr. Otumba convinced me that it was a good course.
Yeah.
And then, as fate would have it, I lost my transcript. The standard
After...
the standard 8 slip. What is it called?
Is it class 8 or...
Class 8. Yeah, class
Form 4 KCC.
Yeah,
Result slip.
Yeah, I lost it, and you couldn't change without it.
Uh-huh.
So now I was kind of doomed, but in the process I discovered I liked it.
Yeah.
So I did that, then finished.
Yeah.
And then worked for a while, and then I joined Digital University for communication, a Master of Arts Communication. Now finishing. I have defended the first defense.
Yeah.
And I passed very well.
Yeah.
And so I'm left with a few corrections and
Yeah.
then do data collection.
Okay.
And I'll be done.
Now, when we were, I remember when we met first, it was in Crisis Other Ministries
Yes,
at
yes.
CITAM,
Yes.
where you are missions administrator.
Yes.
And you are the one who used to help us, sort things in Massabit, facilitate things like those.
Yeah.
Do you join Daystar, or is it when you joined when you were there?
I joined when I was there. So I joined, then I dropped out. Like this kind of-
Yeah.
And then I dropped out, and
Yeah.
so after some time I restarted.
You
the
restarted
process.
again.
So, but that's the time I joined.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really wanted. I am passionate. I like communication.
Yeah.
It excites me.
You are a communication enthusiast.
Certainly, because
Yeah.
when people communicate well, sometimes you have two people who witness an event
Yeah.
or a story.
Yeah.
One person gives a story
Yeah.
and you understand.
Yeah.
Another one gives you the story and you tell them, I understand.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
because you have understood, but because your ears are aching.
Yeah, they're aching. It's true.
The thing is cyclical.
You are
You
right.
can get. So I believe communication is very good. It is a difference between life and death. Sometimes you explain yourselves and you save yourself from trouble. Other times you are unable to explain yourself and you are in trouble.
That's
so
true.
it is good to learn how to communicate.
That
It's
is
part
it.
of life.
That
itself.
is true.
Yeah.
Now, I want us to discuss about Break That Cycle. How did you think of coming up with a title like this? I mean, what was going through your mind? Is it your life? Is this something you observed in life? What is it about Break That Cycle?
Yeah, certainly. Break That Cycle was something that came from my own experience. In the process of being alive, I faced stuff. One day I was fired. I was employed for, I worked there for 2 months.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 months. And I was supposed to do 3 months, then we review. But I think my supervisor didn't like me, or for some good reasons.
Yeah.
She didn't tell me.
Yeah.
She had reservation. So one morning I come to work and I'm excited. I think this is a good day. And then I'm called by the HR. So I think now this is confirmation. Because really I loved the job. I was working hard to learn. I hadn't worked in such an environment before. So I was learning and I was reading. My computer was full of documents to improve. I was committed. So when I went to the office and we sat there, my supervisor came and then the HR said she has many accusations against you and she thinks you should be fired. And she had a letter which had already been signed by, I think, the owner. So when at first I was dazed, I wasn't very sure what is happening. So she asked me, do you want to defend yourself? I said to myself, now, what am I defending myself against? I don't have the accusations. So I said, no, let me sign the letter. So I signed. Those times when you are in denial, I signed. And as I walked to the road, it dawned on me, do you know what? You have been fired.
So, Stone, we want to talk about Break That Cycle.
Yeah.
And there's something you talk about here. You can stop what you don't like. What was in your mind when you were reading this book?
I mean, what you don't like is sometimes you tolerate wrong things to continue controlling your life. I mean, let's say you don't like the way you are at the moment.
Yeah.
Now you have responsibility to change that and stop. It's kind of an explanation of the title, break that cycle.
Yeah.
You know, cycle is something that is continuous. It doesn't have an end. Like this one now,
Yeah.
it's like a cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, goes around, round,
Round,
round.
round.
And so now, if I don't like this, I am able to break something here and stop the cycle from continuing.
Absolutely.
So I check at my life and say, well, I don't like this, I don't like this. Then I ask myself, what can I do to stop it? Because talking about it will not change it, but taking action will change it. So that's the point. You can stop what you don't like.
You can stop what you don't like.
Yes.
And what made you write this book? What inspired you to write in this kind of a book? Is it your own life? Is it something that you saw in people?
Yeah,
What was the inspiration?
I think that book is born from a blend of the two. Observation and life's experience. But the most powerful is life's experience. I struggled. I think I've talked about it at the back of
Yeah.
the book. I mean, I came to a level where I believed I couldn't do anything worthwhile with my life.
Even after you completed university?
Yes.
Yes.
There are sometimes I used to look at myself. I would do a good job for you, for example, and then if you are happy, something tells me in the inside, he's happy because he doesn't know someone else who can do a better job than you. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That other times I would think, well, it's because this person does not know what they wanted.
Yeah.
That's why they imagine I did a good job. And so I kept that attitude moving. And I came to a level and I said, enough is enough.
Yes.
There is a story in Genesis where when Isaac and two sons, you remember, and one of them cheated the other. So this other guy who was cheated came to look for the blessing. And the father said, well, I gave everything. I gave the cattle, I gave the fatness of the land.
Yeah.
I made the fellow your brother, your master. And he kept crying. And then the father said something which I consider very important. He said, you will be your brother's slave. But when you get tired, you break his yoke.
That's right.
That's I said to myself now.
When you
I
say
must
enough
get
is
tired.
enough.
Yes. Actually, you must grow restless. That's the one which is used.
That's right.
And that one defined restless is being unhappy with the condition and taking action.
It reminds me of the story of the prodigal son. You know, after going out there and he enjoyed himself, he spent all the money he had. He came to a point he realized, this is not the best life. He realized his father's life is better. Being at home is better. And he decided to say, enough is enough. I don't like this. And they went back home. And I think that's the message you have.
Yes.
So who do you want this message to reach? Who is your target? Who can read this book?
That book actually is dedicated first to men and women who are struggling with failure.
That's right.
On wondering whether it will ever end. That's the first target. The second target is those persons who want to break a ceiling. I know sometimes in life you come to a level and you ask yourself, what else can I do?
Yeah.
There is this story about Alexander the Great. I'm not very sure. I have not verified. They say after he conquered, is it Persia, and defeated Darius, and now there was nothing else to conquer. So he looked back and wept because there was nothing else to conquer. And after that, that fellow died at 33 or something. When you reach that ceiling and you feel like there's nothing else I can do, there is something you can do. That book gives practical ways. By the way, before I concluded that the content was valid, I took years.
Yes. I remember because the first time we talked about writing a book was when my book was out, 2011.
Certainly.
It's now 8 years since.
And I've been writing it.
Yes.
And one of the resolutions I've made is that I never wanted to frustrate people with impractical knowledge.
That's right.
Because I'd been frustrated before as I was trying to break my own cycle. So I said to myself, I will not write something that is impractical. So I'll first search, hear others, practice, experience, then come to a point and say, this one works, this one does not.
This one doesn't work.
And that is what my philosophy is. And so whatever I have shared in this book, every single line,
that's right,
I believe in it 100%.
That's true.
Yes.
You know, I like it because you're so honest. You're saying, I have been broke, ashamed and discouraged. I had made several resolutions each year intending to break the cycle of failure that cuffed my life. All right?
Yes.
But nothing worked. Sometimes I looked at myself in the mirror and my mind revolted with contempt. what a failure I had become. I was a graduate, enrolled for a master's, but years later I had not graduated. You know what I love about the way you are writing is about you. It's so real, you know. And there are guys out there who are trying to appear like they have it all, who are trying to make everyone else believe like they're successful, you know,
Yes.
because you don't want to make others feel like, yeah, even you. And that's what I like this story. And you even went ahead to talk about where you were feeling suicidal. Talk about it.
Yeah,
Did you really want to kill yourself?
I mean, when I was really depressed, I used to think those things. As a day I was walking on the road and I was just depressed. You know, being depressed?
Yes.
Where your heartbeat changes
Yeah.
and your body temperature rises.
Yeah.
And something told me, suppose you jump in front of, there was that, what was it? That thriller.
Yeah.
The big one.
Yes.
And somebody said, something told me in the hand,
Uh-huh.
suppose you jump in front of that trailer.
Yeah.
It will be over. Nobody will be asking you those questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
But of course I didn't jump.
You didn't
Because
jump.
There is a higher purpose
Yeah.
than defeating your own life. Because really nobody came here as an accident.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like, you know, I know as a man, when you are not able to provide for your family, you know, you have children who have to go to school, you have parents who depend on you, you have friends who keep, you know, demanding, and they have, you know, fundraisings and weddings, and you're not able to provide all those things. And people wonder, is not this guy the one who had graduated from my university?
Yes.
What was the feeling like? And when you need things you cannot afford.
You feel important. You know? Important. I think that's a worst feeling. Sometimes I would walk on the street and I find a cobbler. Cobbler? The shoemaker?
Yeah.
Or someone roasting meat by the roadside.
Yeah.
And I say to myself, this guy, he seems he has better hope than me, and I'm a graduate.
That's true.
That's how I used to feel. Actually, when I say I looked at myself on the mirror and my mind will go, that is it wrong. I'm not trying to make it look worse than it was. I'll just look at myself and say, honestly, you are horrible. Terrible person. I mean, you can't feel like this. And it was eating me up. Sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night to worry, to be troubled.
Yes.
Because I saw life was moving like a conveyor belt,
Yeah.
taking me to nowhere.
Yes.
Nothing happening.
Yes.
And so I started saying to myself, there must be a way of changing.
There must be a way of changing
There
it.
can't be that I can't change it.
Yeah,
That's what I
that's
say to
right.
myself.
And you know, that is the message, exactly what I would want people to get to know. There must be a way of changing this.
Certainly.
Because you know, when we talk about change, and I wrote a small book, Change is Possible. And what was going through my mind? There's a time in my life where I was a shoe shiner. There's a time in my life where I worked as a house help. There's a time in my life where I worked as a pool attendant, as a young man. But I used to ask myself, is this all? There must be a way out of this. And that's what I would want everyone listening to us today to know, that there is something that you can do about your situation. If you don't like it, you can stop it.
Certainly, and tell you something I've also shared there is my own philosophy.
Yeah.
One that I encapsulated it in a statement that success or victory is not a one-off event.
That's right.
It is a continuous process, because that one-off event cannot confine you into the dustbin of failure, or the podium of victory. And let me expound a little bit. You have seen people who started off life very successful.
Yes.
Musicians, footballers, and all other things. Then at one time they fall from their position, so much so that if you meet them, you can't remember them.
Yeah.
They have no way of going back. In other words, their success did not maintain them on that podium of victory. But there are other people also who failed terribly. I mean, where you fail until you know you are failing.
Yeah.
They worked through it,
Yeah.
and they became successful.
They bounced back.
So the point is, one-off event. Sometimes I used to have that photo philosophy. You know, like where you say, if I only get a chance, one, then people will know me and I'll be famous. And that's why you see our people will always go
Which
to
is
look
a
for
major
politicians.
problem with our young people.
They go to look for politicians and think, if I know Alfred, my life will change.
That's right.
You can know him and your life doesn't change.
That's true.
Because you have to work, even if they provide you an opportunity, you must work on it consistently.
By the way, I know so many people, very rich people, my friends.
Yes.
But I've never been that rich.
Because they are rich.
No, you're not
Whatever
becoming
you
good.
have is as a result of a deliberate choice.
I'm telling you.
To change your life,
Yes.
not because you
and
know
a lot
someone.
of hard work.
That's the point.
There's something I want us to talk about here. You wrote something in this book about that thing that you have that you despise might be the thing that God wants to use to turn your life. And you gave a very powerful example about the story of Moses. I want you to talk about it. Because when God looked at Moses, he saw him having a stick. To him, he knew this is what I'll use. But for Moses, it was just a mere stick. But when he threw it down, it became a miracle. What will you use? Because I want us to talk about that. There are so many young people who are so talented. They're so gifted. They have education. They have had experiences. They have skills. But they still feel inadequate. What will you talk about?
That's a challenge. You know, during that time, I like referring to my life. During that time, I wanted to be everything. If I found you succeeding as a farmer, I thought you were succeeding because you were a farmer. So I wanted to be a farmer. If I found you succeeding as a, like the way television brings stuff, like this is a very good driver, so he's very successful, this is a good entrepreneur.
You were jumping from...
I wanted to be all of them. Some I couldn't even jump, I had no capacity to jump, but I dreamed. But what I realized is those things that you are the ones that become the points of victory. Let me give you an example of a natural thing before we go to the story of Moses. We know one actor in Kenya who is very short, extremely short. Part of, I think, his success comes from the disadvantage.
That's what people will call a disadvantage, actually.
That's the point. That's the disadvantage became his point of advantage.
Absolutely.
So whatever you have is what, when you come to this earth, God has packaged you in a way. He says in the same thing in Jeremiah 29:11 that I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you a future and the expected end. In other words, when you are coming, you come packaged. So now it's for you to unravel the package and discover. Some of us are singers, take advantage of that. Some of us are good at managing animals. Be a good farmer. Some of us are good at whatever they are. It is those things that you discover, commit to, and success is not a wishful thinking. It's hard work.
It's hard work.
I think any motivation that forgets to say work hard is excitement.
Absolutely. It's hype.
It's hype. So when you discover those things, polish them. Work on them. Become an expert in those things. And how do you become an expert? Learning, knowledge, practicing. Ecclesiastes tells us when an axe is dull, more strength is needed to cut wood. But when you sharpen, you use less energy. So that's the point.
That is true. So whatever people have and they think cannot be something is what God can use.
Exactly.
Like now, your story, God is using it. You were about to commit suicide. You had given up. You had felt you were a failure. You had almost thrown in the towel. But you see now, that's why this book is so practical. You know, I read it and I was like, this guy is true. I know him. This is it. Because if I had not known you, I would be feeling like, is it for real? But because I know you and we have worked together before, I've seen how your life has been. I was connecting and saying, this is very honest. And one of the things that I keep telling young people out there is that no matter where you are, from the day you say, I am tired of this life, the day you sit and say, I am tired of this kind of a situation, is when you begin to look for the right friends, you begin to look for the right skills, you begin to look for the right places to go. But as long as you are, simply saying, I don't like this life. And interestingly, Stone, do you know most people in Kenya love complaining? But very few want to find ways on how to change the
That's
situation.
why we hear statements like Bora Uhai. That's a wrong one, because just being alive is not good enough. You must be purposeful.
You must be purposeful. That's the word.
That's the one. When God created man, which includes women, it says, let them have dominion. He didn't say let them survive.
Yes, let them have dominion.
Have dominion and be fruitful. So if life is not having dominion, and having dominion is dominating, taking charge. So if life is not taking charge, if life is not productive, then that is not worth living. So that's the point. So we must change our philosophy, and we can't go beyond what we think life should be.
That's true.
We must change those things.
What do you think is our problem, Mr. One? Is it our educational system? Is it how we have been socialized? Is it how we have been raised? Why do we find it easier to criticize, to complain, but not to do something about the situation?
It's a combination. Our education system has a problem, but also I believe the way we are raised. We are raised with a mentality that, well, if you are in trouble, blame someone for it. Don't allow yourself to say, I am responsible. But you know what? In the same book, I found another philosophy, which I've encapsulated in a statement, that you are 100% and some more for how your life turns out. People can do things, people can make wrong choices about you can't stop them.
Yeah.
But you can make a choice to change your life. Yes, sir.
Who is this book meant for? Who can read this book?
This book is meant for a varied audience. Students can read, people who are working can read, people who are looking for jobs can read, mentors, teachers, pastors, business owners, managers.
That's right.
Actually, any person who is interested in seeing change, regardless of whatever space it is, whether personal change or organizational change. That book is very useful because the skills or the knowledge shared is not narrow. For example, there's a...
What are some of the things you talk about in this book?
For example, there's a goal setting and planning.
Yes.
Sometimes when we have found ourselves stuck in wrong things, we want to change overnight. And so in the process, we get frustrated. But I have shared a process which helps you move from where you are. Because anytime you find yourself in a bad state, it doesn't happen overnight. You develop it, you build it. So there is a process for unbuilding. The same process. For example, if you found in the field there is a stump of tree, white, and you wanted to uproot it and you didn't have the equipment, what you do is you don't try to pull it by the roots. It will not happen. You'll be frustrated. What you do is plan one big goal that says in the next 3 years I want to have uprooted this stump. Then say to yourself, each day for 30 minutes or 15 I'll be digging around the tree, cutting the roots and doing all that which I can do, so that now every day you are encouraged, because your focus is not to uproot the tree that day. The focus is to achieve. And so you look at the evening and say, I've achieved this, you are encouraged to start tomorrow. So anything that we find our lives stuck in took a process, and it also takes a process to undo. But the key one is consistently. Because sometimes why the New Year resolutions don't work is because we want to change everything by January 1st. Then by January 4th we have not changed anything, and by January 30th everything is worse than it was. So we get frustrated, we say, then let's wait for the next year. But if you started a little bit, by the time January 30th is hitting, you have achieved maybe 2% or 5%. You look back and be encouraged. When God was creating the earth, He had the power to create everything in a single day. But He chose to do 6 days, and every day would look at it and say, it was beautiful. So we can do the same with our process of change. Setting one overarching goal that is a big goal, but to break the smaller goals, the ones we can look back and say, today I've achieved this, tomorrow I'll achieve this, the other day I'll achieve this. So that is one of the things that I've shared. Again, also, what are some of the mental positions we need to take as we change our lives? And again, also, what are some of the habits? Like bitterness and complaining and grumbling is one of the ways to remain in defeat.
That's right.
Because we may understand you sincerely, we may feel for you, but you know what? Judgment and failure will not understand you. So it is for you to say, I'm responsible. People may have made the wrong choices, people may have made bad decisions about my life, but I can start making the right decisions about my life now. I was telling someone, when we say we were created in the image of God, one thing it means we were created with a capacity to learn.
That's true.
Animals don't learn. Animals majorly use instinct. They are born with capacity to run, if it is a horse or birds to fly. But for me, I was not born with wings, but I can learn how to fly by developing an aeroplane.
That's true.
I wasn't born with flippers, but we can buy flippers.
You were not born swimming, but you can learn this.
That's the point. That's now the capacity to have to have dominion in every circumstance.
That's right.
So that's the point.
Good.
Yeah.
How will people get this book? I would like you to give them your number so that they can be able to either directly contact you,
Yes.
or where they can be able to find the book, because I think it's a great book that people need to read. You can stop what you don't like instead of staying there and complaining and saying, you know, oh look, life is so harsh, people don't like me, the economy is bad. Begin by reading this book, and I would want you to encourage people who are setting resolutions, because it's the time of resolutions, very exciting resolutions. I think I would want to recommend people to read this book instead of doing every year resolutions, which is a cycle. They need to break it and knowing, what am I not doing right?
That's the point. Actually, as you have said, I would recommend before someone starts to plan
Yeah.
change for next year,
Yeah.
they get the book and give themselves, is not very big,
Yeah.
and it's done in fonts that are readable.
Yeah.
They take a limited period of time or undefined period of time. They read through, then they learn skills
Yeah.
which they will apply as they now plan for change.
That's true.
Because if it has not worked for the last 20 years and you want to do the same process, then there must be something wrong.
That's
You must do something different. Because as I conclude in the book, I say, planning is good, but taking action is important.
Yeah.
There is a book I read which challenged me a lot also. It's called The Power of Great by somebody called Angela Duckworth. And she says, really, talent we have. Most of us have enough talent, the one we need for success.
That's right.
The point is we lack commitment. Hanging in there,
Hanging in there.
that's the one. So that you are able to say, when I start this,
Yeah.
I complete it.
Yeah.
Because starting is not really the most powerful thing.
Yeah.
Completing is the most powerful.
The rewards are for finishers, not for starters.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Because anyone can start anything. But it is only that person. Because even a fruit tree is not really considered fruitful by the number of leaves
Uh-uh.
it has put out or by the number of fruits. But we say a tree is fruitful by the number of mature fruits that we harvest
Yeah.
from the same. So producing fruits, producing flowers is a good process
Yeah.
because it's the beginning of fruiting.
Yeah.
But if it stops at that and the fruits fall off, then there's no, the flowers fall off, sorry, there's no fruit.
That's true.
There is no productivity. There is no success. So the same way, if I plan and I don't complete, I have produced flowers, but I have not produced fruit.
That's right.
So that's why I also recommend to read and ask themselves questions. I have tried to make it as practical as possible. I have even put some, what are they called? Some tables
Yeah.
to help think through some
Yeah.
of those processes.
Yeah, I was even concerned about, at the end of every page you've done something for notes.
Yes.
Is that for something, for their reflections on what they have
That's
come
the
up with,
point.
they've learned?
Yes, that's the point. Because sometimes you read a book or other good material, you get many ideas. But as you go to the next page, you forget what you read.
Yeah.
So you have read the whole material, but
Yeah.
you can't go back and say, this is what I have discovered. Because reading is challenging your mind,
Yeah.
is stretching your mind so that you are able to refer to your own creativity. So as you read what I've written, you should be able to move from what I've written to your own
Now
conclusions.
that's learning.
Yes, to your own conclusions,
Yeah.
so that you are able to apply them.
As we conclude,
Eh.
what would you tell people who want to write books? Because there are people who want to begin who begin writing and then they stop somehow. You have taken 8 years to write a book. That may make someone who wants to begin to write scared. What would you, a few tips on how they can begin to write their book?
Certainly. I took 8 years because I wanted to have impact.
Yeah.
Someone else will do it in a month and still have impact, depending on what they are sharing. One way of thinking about writing is thinking about our stories.
Yes.
Every one of us has a story.
Yes.
And our stories are unique. And our stories are impactful. And our stories are powerful.
Yes.
So begin by reflecting on your life.
On your life.
What is it that you have learned? What is it that you have not learned?
Yes.
As you discover that, as you check through that, what you have learned is ready for sharing. What you have not learned challenges you
Yeah.
to stand it.
Yes.
Now, as you stand it, you get what you say. Because whenever you stand it, you get your own thoughts. You are able to refine your own thoughts, and then you say, oh, I was thinking this way, I wasn't understanding why, but now after reading this,
Yeah.
I now understand why I'm thinking.
This one, that's right.
So that's the process. So they need to start with their own story, and again, asking themselves, what is it that which I would want the world to know. If I was given 1 minute to live,
If at a platform,
Yes.
what would I want the world to know?
yes, and I was told, ask or say the last thing
Yeah.
you would want the world to know. If you find that, you have found your book.
Wow.
That's it. You have found your book.
That's it. There is no better way to finish this. But I want you to promise that you come back because we need to talk more about the book.
Certainly.
You're full of inspiration. You're full of a lot of information, and definitely we need more time to this.
Yes.
So I hope you find time to come back.
Yes.
We discuss.
Yes.
Would you want to give your number so that those who want to get to talk to you, those who want to call you for counseling, those who want to call you for coaching, the purpose of discovery, give them your number.
Yeah, certainly. As you have said, there are those opportunities for joining Discovery Forum. The next one is happening in January. But also we engage in high school work
Yes.
to mentor, to coach, to train, and also in the colleges and universities, and also in organizations.
Yeah.